Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be what if Luffy was a Prince of Elbaf. Watch part 1 if you don't remember the story. No, the views weren't high, but the likes were good compared to, usual likes. So for part 2 of this, or for part 3, you get it to 15 to 20 likes, and I'll post part 3 sometime this month. And I'm working on Maharaga Gofu part 3 as well. Part 2 wasn't that great. I recorded it at 4 in the morning because I was bored, but... Now, here's what if last left off with the end of Orange Town, I believe. And this time Nami already fully believes that the Straw Hats can beat Arlong's crew because it is 7 giants plus Luffy and Zoro. So, yeah. Alright, the crew that Luffy has is Luffy himself as the captain, Hirudin, his vice captain, Gerd, his doctor, Goldberg, the chef, Stanton, the shipwright, Roto, the navigator, Lily is a fighter, Pans is a sous chef, and then Zoro's also a fighter. And Nami would join as a second navigator, so they basically have almost 2 of every role. Next up, Forest Village. When they arrive, Usopp he does try to pull the whole 10,000 men thing, but Luffy can already use observation haki. So that pretty quickly shuts Usopp down, and he runs away because there's 7 giants, and he's terrified for a second. But pretty quickly, Usopp would begin to bond with them, and so the villagers, they realize that the giants are pretty chill, they're nice. But Kuro would be the only one who's not really vibing with the giants. Plus the fact that the Straw Hats already have an active doctor, plus Luffy, who was taught, if you always forgot the first part, the fact that Luffy was the smallest person on Elbaf, including Ace and Sabo, for a while, he did eventually outgrow both of them. But Luffy had to be taught, along with Sabo, to be his own doctor, navigate his own maps, all that kind of stuff, because the giants in Elbaf would be too big to do it all for Luffy. So, yeah, he had to learn to do a lot of stuff by himself. I was wondering how Luffy outgrew both of his brothers. Luffy is much bigger at around the same height as Garp, so that's almost 10 feet tall. Because you're just wondering why. Nearly everyone who grew up with the giants, like basically Big Mom, and I guess some of the kids around her, basically almost everyone from Elbaf, even if you're not a giant, you are big as all hell. So Luffy and Sabo are all pretty big. Luffy basically, I think Garp's like 9'6". Then Ace is the same height as Roger at about 9 feet tall, and Sabo is the same height as Dragon at about 8 feet tall. Sabo is the shortest of the brothers, but it goes 8, 9, then 9, 6. Luffy's the tallest. But, back to this. So eventually Kuro does try to, also Gerd is looking at Kai's symptoms with Luffy. Kuro realizes you need caught and tries to, escape with Django. But at this point, the Kai was being poisoned, and luckily enough, Luffy's yell about, hey, he's going to call out who probably poisoned Kaya, and immediately Hirudin, who's off the ship with Stanton, quickly caught Kuro and Django. So immediately Stanton would just fight them with a paddle, or an oar. And when Kuro's crew arrived, Hirudin could just punch the ship into pieces, and that was the end of the Black Cat Pirates. So yeah, Stan Sin and Hirudin pretty quickly ended Kuro's crew. And Usopp joined the crew, claiming, this crew, this is the adventure I've been waiting for. And Usopp's a lot more of a confident and competent character, because every dream he has is on this ship, except for seeing Elbaf. And even then, Luffy just told his crew, so we're going to go back to Elbaf to check on my brother Loki, so to make sure he didn't escape. So they're not going to Elbaf, oh yeah, because it's the next stop. No, he needs to check on Loki. That is it. He wouldn't talk about Elbaf for any other reason. He just needs to check on Loki. Because Luffy, Ace, and Sabo's brother is Loki. And Hirudin's as well. Hirudin's their older brother. Alright, they get to Baratie. No, the ship the Straw Hats have is Skithblatnir or Skithblatnir, but Blath is is TH, so it probably has a different pronunciation than what I'm saying, but yeah. You guys can get the reference. Like, comment the reference of the ship's name. I'm not going to give you anything, but you'd be pretty intelligent for it. Crew arrives at the Bratier, and their ship is bigger than the Bratier itself, as their ship is basically a cargo ship in terms of size. So, yeah. Now, with this, immediately, Zeph comes saying that he doesn't think he has enough food to feed giants, but Luffy simply says, "Oh no, we have food and stuff, we just need someone to stop and cook, and you guys can help if you want." So, Luffy goes inside, helps them cook, Elbafian food. And while he's cooking with Sanji, they end up talking, and Sanji mentions his dream about the All Blue after Luffy had asked. And Luffy just tells Sanji, "Your dreams won't come to you. You need to chase them." Sanji kind of just froze hearing that, and Zeph would laugh from the corner of the kitchen as he's cooking up his own food and says, "The boy's right, Sanji. You can't stay here and expect us to find the All Blue somehow." But he starts kind of contemplating, leaving the Brati. He read between the lines, Luffy's offering them a place in the crew, or at least a lift to a different island. Alright. Now the crew relaxes eating their food. Gin would still, be someone who has food, all that. But Luffy can tell that, Krieg's crew is definitely not the nicest. So he's told, Gin, if your crew acts up, my crew will wipe them off the face of the earth. We will erase your crew. This Luffy's definitely a lot more ruthless character, so in fact he grew up on Elbaf. He grew up around Viking culture. Vikings are not merciful all the time. So it may have been Luffy grew up around every kind of Viking imaginable. Kind, evil, cruel. He grew up around Loki, so he knows about evil, and he knows when it's necessary. Now, before Krieg can cause any significant trouble, Krieg's crew, when they arrive, they can cause any trouble. Pretty quickly, it's shut down because when Krieg does claim, "Oh yeah, I'm taking over the Bratier and the giant cargo vessel." Maybe Lily would tap Krieg on his back, and he turns around only be hit in the chest with a full force giant-like strength in the body of a 5'2" woman. So immediately he sent flying through the air, his chest caved in and his armor crumbling from the punch. He crashed into the ocean, being knocked out and kind of just sank. Really, Pearl tried to attack, but Gin, already warning his crew, you can't attack here, and they disobeyed him, even Krieg. Gin tried to lay out Pearl in one go. It was pretty easy. And so once he laid out Pearl, the rest of the Straws proceeded to fight Krieg's crew, and the Straws couldn't watch Luffy just pretty easily manhandle everyone in his way. He's big as shit, and he's strong as shit. So, yeah. But Pan's Fry took it to a whole level by using his frying pan and basically beating everyone into the dirt along with the ladle. It wasn't really a hard fight for him because in fact he's also a giant. And Battilla ended all kind of just punched through Krieg's ship in one go. Pause real quick. Okay. I just realized my computer's an hour off. Interesting. Okay. Now, once Krieg's crew is defeated, this does lead to Zoro and Mihawk still having their own fight. And when Zoro is defeated, still, his wounds were quickly treated by Luffy and Lily with getting instructions from Gerd. Because Gerd's the main doctor, but Luffy mainly handles his own injuries, or if he does need help, Lily will do it with instruction from Gerd. So Zoro gets proper treatment for his wounds immediately. Gin is offered a place on the crew by Luffy, and Gin doesn't want to decline until Hyrudian will kind of just go big. He's behind Luffy, giving Gin the evil eye of you do not decline my baby brother's offer. So with this, Gin shakes his head a bit terrified and says he'll join the crew. So yeah, he's going to force him to join it. He was terrified he'd be killed if he didn't. And Sanji joins because Luffy's words are resonating in his head along with Zeph's. Now the crew sails towards Arlong Park. They're heading to Arlong Park. Nami already knows they can just go in there and beat Arlong, so, yeah. And I'm going to tell you one thing about this crew is this crew has a very big training culture. What I mean by that, they train day and night. Luffy will be on the deck of the ship with a giant barbell on his shoulders, and he's squatting 2 tons. He is just, the crew works out for fun, because that's just what they do in Elbaf. They fight and they train. And other things, sure. Out at sea, they can't do a lot of stuff that they used to do in Elbaf. Their boat is not that big. So a lot of what they do, they fight and they train. And read. So, yeah. So this place is basically perfect for Zoro and Sanji and Gin. Nami has to join in eventually because the fact that she can't really do a lot of some stuff is kind of hard. But also, she can grow her own Mikans. The ship is big enough for a garden. Gerd grows herbs. Luffy grows herbs with Gerd. All that. So, yeah, so the crew is a lot stronger already, including Zoro. He still lost Mihawk, though, and still lost 2 of his swords. Alright, but as they're sailing along Park, they eventually encounter Momu, the sea cow. Momu tries to be intimidating, only for Goldberg, who's cooking, to jump up and punch Momu in the top of the head immediately. Sea cow immediately shrank down in the ocean, ended with a giant bump on his head, and Luffy had an idea. He's like, what if we turned it into a creature that pulled our ship? Like, pretty sure there's a pirate crew out there who has animals to do that. I'm pretty sure they're called the Kuja or something. The crew is very aware of other pirates. They live in the New World. But I think for a second before realizing, like, yeah, that makes sense. Plus, Saints can use a break from kind of steering the ship or just rowing it, as the crew does have. The ship has oars, but also just it can be steered. With this, they all agree, and immediately Saints can jump in the water, wrangling Momo before tying him up to the hull of the ship. Momo pulls him around to Arlong Park, and immediately, once Arlong Park's rising with, who's here, he also, Nezumi and his Marines are also here. But Usopp kind of slowly, pushes the cannon as Zoro is helping him, because the cannon is, double the size of Usopp, if not triple. There's bigger cannons aboard, but even then, this was the smallest cannon the Elbafians could make. And Usopp aimed it down on Nezumi's ship, and immediately he screams, wait, no, don't shoot on my ship. But they fire it, eviscerate Nezumi and Arlong's ship, and Usopp shocked that the cannon is so strong. But Zoro, in good condition, along with Sanji and Gin, jump down, being basically taking out Arlong's crew, Nami running into Arlong Park, taking away all stuff from her room. So with this, she makes her way to the ship. Luffy is just kind of helping her move all the maps into her room, and maybe kind of pinning them all to the wall so they all make sense of one cohesive giant map. And it's of the East Blue, so it works. Pause. Okay. So with this, once Arlong's crew is defeated, Arlong's basically at the mercy of Zoro, and Zoro's kind of holding his blade to Arlong's neck. But then Zoro looks around, for realizing Arlong's giant blade is still about. Pause real quick. Yeah, I want to make sure I got the name right. It's the blade Kiribachi is about. Arlong tried to use it to fight against Zoro, but Zoro pretty quickly beat him because Zoro was in good condition. Even if Zoro is weakened, he's stronger than canonical Zoro, who fought Arlong already. So Zoro beat Arlong. It was a struggle, but he did so. But he'd have to kill Arlong to realize that Arlong's Kiribachi is about. He would grab it, and he would basically set up Arlong execution style. And when Nami's go, Zoro would behead Arlong. Nezumi's panicking until Pudding would arrive, and he already knows he should not mess with this crew, as Nezumi's all tied up as well. It's pretty obvious why he was here. But Pudding would try to make a cowardly offer, saying, hey, I'll let you go if you let me take in the Marines. And, arrest them, of course. As he's actually a good Marine. So with that, Luffy just smirks and just Pudding just says, yeah, sure, why not? Make it fast before I take him. But Pudding would arrest Nezumi and all his crew, and he escapes, kind of bowing to Luffy, letting him go. So yeah. With that, the crew kind of pushes Arlong's crew's body into the water, but they do realize that one of them escaped. That one being Hachi, who escaped. So yeah. All I'm saying is right now this will make the crew kind of complicated with Jinbei because they executed Arlong. But eventually, once the villagers walk in, realizing there's a marine ship leaving and it's not Nezumi, they walk in Arlong Park a bit nervous, only to see that Arlong's body is being pushed into the water, and Nami's kind of smiling ear to ear. The village has a giant party, but on Skith Blast near, as there's a lot more food, a lot more alcohol, and a lot more fun to go around. And then the island's doctor is also helping Luffy disinfect Zoro's wounds, as Luffy is definitely he's a decent doctor, but professionals are still better than Luffy by a decent margin. He can treat basic wounds, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that professionals can do better than him because they have better knowledge. So, yeah, he can treat Zoro. Professionals will still do it better. Like, Gerd is a professional, she is just too big to help Zoro properly. She only get instructions. So, yeah. Now, the Giants are working on, and they realize that Zoro kind of hung up Kiribachi in his room, and they kind of laugh and cheer as something like the also sign of disrespect, but also honoring a weapon. So with this, that would this end our long park, and we move on to Logtown. And this is honestly not much of an arc. 1. Luffy can beat Buggy, no issue. Buggy is not a threat to Luffy, but also Buggy is scared of Luffy and his crew, so he would probably avoid him with all of his might. And then we have Alvida. Yeah, kind of the same thing. She'd avoid them, also, the giant can literally fall on her. Though, they'll still fall on her. Only people here who are willing to fight are Tashigi and, Tashigi and Smoker. But with this, Tashigi would realize that, nobody knows to not mess with Zoro at the point, as he seems like he has like a lethal aura around him. Plus, the crew recently got bounties. Like, they can be murdered Arlong. So, yeah, bounties are quick. Luffy's bounty is, I have it right here, 80 million, Roto is 70 million, Hybridine is 76 million, Pans is 60 million, Lily is 65 million, Zoro 20 million, Geen 30 million. But Pans has an outstanding bounty already, the Marines just do not recognize him, so his bounty will raise really high randomly. You gotta think it's just money, not because he's incredible. No, his bounty is already really high. I think it should be funny to raise it out of nowhere. So yeah. But Luffy's first bounty is 80 million. So yeah. So with this, immediately, Tashigi is kind of scared to fight Zoro. But when they do eventually clash, he does actually beat her, because she's probably still attacking him for having a bounty, and he does beat her pretty easily, but he goes easy on her. But she now knows that getting Wado Ichimonji and Yubashiri from him will never be an easy task. Like, Zoro's walking around with like Kiribachi on his back, so yeah. But they end up defeating Tashigi. Luffy ends up beating Smoker, basically using observation hockey to pretty easily avoid him. Then eventually he would actually be able to grab Smoker's weapon, his Jite. Pretty sure it's pronounced Jite, but spelled Jitte. But pretty sure it's pronounced Jite. Luffy is able to snatch up the Smoker and pin him to the ground with it before hitting him over the head with it and knocking him out. So he beats Smoker pretty easily. And then Emery's come after him. Luffy's a competent user of Conqueror Taki as well, so just a burst of it will knock them all out. But, yeah. But with this, I'm going to end this part here, because I think this series should have short parts, because this is going to be a very long series. Some parts will be longer than the others, but tell me if you guys want these videos to remain in a shorter form like this, or be longer for like my 30-minute to an hour content. Alright, adios.